For all your TCG needs, make sure to check out sabatcg.com. What's poppin', everybody? It's Roll54, and today I'm going to be covering the most important cards we're going to be losing from the upcoming One Piece rotation. If you guys are unaware, Bandai announced a long while ago that the One Piece TCG is going to be a rotation-based game. This means that every year, 4 sets, or at least it's going to be 4 sets for now, are going to be going out of the game. It means you can't use the cards from these sets in official tournaments. They also said they're going to do the expanded format, so people that want to use all the cards, they can do that. I'm not sure how serious they're going to be in supporting that, but from my experience with Yu-Gi-Oh! And even the Pokemon TCG's expanded format, I know that the more cards are in the format, the more of a mess the game becomes, and rotations are the way to go. Of course, we're still going to have banned and limited cards, but the TCGs being rotation based is the way to go in my opinion. Okay, so ban list, the rotation, what I meant to say, takes place on April 1st, so it's going to be pretty soon. I think this is right before the OP15 set is going to come out. And the 4 sets that are going to be rotating out is Romance Dawn, Paramount War, Pillars of Strength, and Kingdoms of Intrigue, the first 4 main sets. And this is just how I like it, 4 sets, classic style, just like Pokemon, and it makes sense. Now, there's a bit of a confusion. I'm not completely sure myself, because these 4 sets, they're supposed to be the sets going out, and this basically means the cards with the Mark 1 here, the little icon that says number 1, they're going away. Same for the first 10 starter decks. But Bandai has said that the cards that got reprinted in PRBO2, even if they have Mark 1, they're going to stick around or they won't. I'm not completely sure. So maybe some cards, they're going to stick around. I know some cards are going to stick around, like the Search Tsunami, but it's a bit confusing. I guess we'll see when the rotation finally takes place. So today I'm just going to cover, assumingly, if all the cards go away, even if they're reprinted in PRB1 and PRBO2. So you guys can be prepared for that. Now, Romance Dawn is the first set, and we don't really lose too much, I want to say. Power creep was very obvious in One Piece, especially with this set. A lot of cards just aren't very good anymore or matter from this set. The most important cards I'd say that we lose, Nami, we're not going to lose her. They confirmed it's going to be reprinted, or the reprints are going to count. I'm not sure, but this would be an important card if we were to lose it. It's the Searcher. Okay, we got this Otama right here, which is a 2k counter, so it's something, and it has the on-play of giving an opponent's character minus 2000, so it's got that sort of dual use. If you want to make a specific play and just get it out of their hand, you can. So again, this is one of the cards that got reprinted, so I'm not sure if it's going to stick around, if it's not, but it originated from here. As far as leaders go, we do lose a few important leaders, I think. Maybe they're not so relevant anymore, but they've been pretty important for quite some time. Roronoa Zoro, the first actual card from One Piece, is like the base set of Alakazam, you could say. So this leader has been a pretty straightforward, easy to use red leader for a long time, since it got out. Just give all of your characters 1,000 and you just put it onto this guy. It means it's going to be 6k, and then all your characters get 1,000. So in the early formats, Zoro, Whitebeard, the Zoro Whitebeard formats, red was very powerful, and a big part of that was this guy, one of the big parts. And then later on, when we got a bunch of the like animal cards from OP8, Chopper, and a bunch of other cards, instead of just using Chopper as a leader, a lot of people just favored this guy. Get a bunch of cheap units that way, quickly enough, with Rush, and then you buff all of their attacks, and then you can put a lot of pressure. So not sure how much play this leader sees anymore. I don't think it's as much as before, but he is one of the most important cards here, I want to say. The other really important leader that has also kind of died down is Blue Doflamingo. Slick manga artwork right here. So this card, it was kind of so-so when it first came out. People did use it to success, but then it really became crazy when we got a lot of the really good 7 Warlords of the Sea stuff and even more cards like Buggy to help you stack cards on top of your deck. Then he became pretty crazy. If I'm not mistaken, but I'm pretty sure this information is accurate, in Japan he did eventually get banned. I don't think he's banned now, but he did get banned at some point. So, you know, he was pretty good. I guess in our format they decided to ban Jinbei, which I think was a mistake. Neither this card nor Jinbei should be banned at this point, but anyway. But really good leader because, you know, you put the Dawn, so you buff your attack. It's going to be hard for your opponent to block. And then you get a free summon from the top of your deck, so it's a plus. It's not even from the hand. So it's really powerful advantage, man. Getting field presence from the deck too while you're buffing your attack. I mean, he ended up becoming a really strong blue leader for a reason. And he's also, from here, going to go away. As far as other leaders are concerned, I mean, I think these are the ones that really count. King here is the worst leader probably ever, so it doesn't matter. You got the purple blue Kaido, which not a lot of people, I mean, in the beginning even people didn't really use much, I want to say. And, you know, these types of effects are just, he's power crept at this point. I mean, the pure purple leader, the purple Kaido from ST4 ceased play because there's actually stuff you can do with them. Plus you got the 5 life. You don't need the blue cards for the combo Animal Kingdom Pirates do. So yeah, it doesn't matter. Same for this crocodile. Unfortunately, it's just, it was never that good. Difficult to use. I mean, got to put it on to gain the effects. You just got to use, you know, the counter events and stuff. And then the last one, the last once, you got Trafalgar Law. So this was a very powerful leader as well in the earlier formats. Combo-based leader in a way, you gotta know what you're doing with him, but he was strong, red-green. Again, sort of spam the board, do combos, but kind of died down. I mean, there's just so many other stronger options right now. Same for this green-red Luffy. The cost is just way too much for the benefit you're gonna get. There's like another red-green Luffy, basically the latest one from, I think, OP13, and it's just much more broken. So it's like the replacement. Anyway, so that's with the leaders. Now, what other good cards do we lose? I mean, look at cards like this. I mean, Cavendish, it's like a worse Zoro with Rush that came in the first set. So yeah, power creep is real with this set. You got this Sanji, another 2k counter. But I mean, at this point, we have enough red Straw Hat 2k counters. So even if some of these go away, you got plenty to choose from still. Gordon, this guy was a 2k counter, and you could, I guess, place 1 card from your hand at the bottom of your deck to draw 1 card. Okay, so he's different from the other Gordon I'm thinking of. But yeah, 2k counter. Got Nico Robin, giving you that sort of pop for combos, but not really seeing play anymore. You got this guy, which I think is been underrated, but again, not really something too special. You can rest this character and up to one of your leader characters gains 2000 power this turn. And because it's not an on play, you can do this every turn. It means that if your opponent leaves it alive, then you can gain this effect every turn, so they gotta just waste the swing to kill him. So solid little card. You got this Rush Zoro, might be like the strongest non-leader card here that's gonna go away in my opinion. Very simple card, but pretty effective. 3 for 5, but it has Rush. So, you know, you get that instant poke, have to force your opponent to throw a card. And since it's technically not on play, he's just Rush. These cards are good against Blackbeard, so that's pretty good. All right. Oh yeah, and we got Odin too, another leader, but just way too weak. Discard a card from your hand to just set up 2 of your down cards as active. Nowadays, you got all these green cards that do this basically for free. You just play them down and they give you this sort of effect. So to trash 1 card from your hand, and specifically land a 1-0, not very good. Alright, what else do we got? Izzo, there's a nice 2k counter that also allowed you to rest an opponent's 4 or lower unit character. So that could have been solid. Good 2k. Don't got too many of those for land of 1, I think. Then we got Killer, just a 2/2 blocker, but I guess with the unblock and the Dawn, you could also draw a card maybe. Momonosuke, okay, so that's pretty important. I don't think, again, these cards, they got reprinted. Are the reprints gonna count? I'm not sure, but the original print is from this set for this card. Constant Searcher, you just gotta basically rest him and rest the Dawn, and you get a little plus every turn, so your opponent has to kill this guy, burn an attack to kill this guy, or your opponent can just keep searching. So pretty powerful. Land of Wano and Kozuki Clan, I guess if you use these engines. They're used in non-Wano decks. So, yeah. And then Trafalgar Law, one of the 5-6k blockers back then. They mattered a lot. Nowadays, not so much. God damn, what's going on outside? All types of crazy shit. Anyway, and you know, he's sort of comboed with the green leader that's in here, green law leader that's in here. You know, put something back from the field in your hand and then play another unit. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put a smaller character and then play something that's better. Combo stuff. Gonna go away. Beppo, 2k Mink. I think we have quite a few of these around now, so he's not gonna hurt as much, but it's still something. And then Kid. Yeah, this card is pretty important, I want to say. So, well, I mean, it's not the same as, again, when it first came out, but it's a very good card. It's one of the cards that remain good from this set, I want to say. 8 for 8, and if this guy is rested, your opponent has to attack him. So it's almost like your leader is 8k. It just makes it easier for you to block attacks. And he's just going to act like an endless blocker in a way if your opponent doesn't kill him too. Plus, you get a free summon from the hand with the effect. You just rest him and then you can summon something. So very, very good green card. And it's one of the most important cards going away for sure. I said Zoro was the most important character. I think it's this guy, looking at it now. Okay, then we got XX Drake. Kind of a forgotten card maybe, but this is like a Ryuma from OP6. It just costs one cost more, but it has a counter in hand, so he's not dead later on. So I think in ways it's better. You get to KO one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost 4 or less, but it doesn't have the on KO effect. So Ryuma can maybe even destroy 2 cards if the circumstances are right. Okay. Then we got You Can Be My Samurai. I was never a fan of this card, but I know a lot of different green decks try to utilize it. You rest 2 of your characters and then you draw 2. I mean, if you don't do this on cheap units, then you lose more than you gain, in my opinion. But that's just me. Going away. And then what else do we got? We got these like events. I don't even remember what they're doing. Anyway. Got Alvida, a blue, 2k, nothing else. Buggy Pirates, technically. But I mean, Buggy is pretty much integrated cross-guild, so... like, a lot of cards, you can't even, like, use the searches to search it, so... that's why nobody used it now. Then we got this Crocodile. So, Banish, I mean... it's always been something that... if he doesn't connect, it's like you have no effect, so it's kind of tricky. If it works, it's broken. If it doesn't, then it's useless. But anyway, most decks that use this card, they were the like blue Nami decks that just want to have this down so they can have their events cost 1 less, and that was bullshit. But anyway, I haven't really seen this card being used anywhere else. but gonna go away. Then we got Mihawk, the original sort of blue boss monster, boss character. So this card, again, is not that strong in my opinion. It's just way too balanced. You know, 9 for 9,000. It's not really impressive cost for attack ratio. It should have been 10,000 at least. And then the only effect he has is you bottom deck a 7 cost or less from your opponent. Again, the range is okay, but not as good since this is like a 9 cost boss character and it's the only effect he has. Now this card does see play in like the blue, I think blue-purple Luffy decks. Oh man. Got all of the damn jets flying and shit. The fucking Americans and their Jews and the war involving my country. Anyway, so as I was saying, even though I've never been the biggest fan of this card because I think it's just a bit too weak, it does see play in certain decks because you can do stuff like use the Sanji, put it on top of the deck, and then you get like a double summon for free. So he's strong, and the removal effect, I mean, depending on how your opponent controls the game and what he's doing, it's still powerful. It's a removal, and it's bottom deck as well. It's not pop, it's not KO. So yeah, it's another very important card going away. Full art, really, really amazing. Okay. And we got this Doflamingo blocker, used to arrange the cards on top of your deck. And then again, you do combos with the Flamingo leader here. God damn. Decide to do the rotation video again and everything is going wrong. Anyway, so I don't think this card sees that much play anymore. Again, I've never been the biggest fan of it because it just sits in the middle of a middle blocker that doesn't really give you a plus. It just lets you stack the cards on top of your deck. If you're not going to do combos, you don't really gain much. Anyway, going away. Then we got Kuma. Again, this card is kind of too weak. It's been weak for a while. It's a blocker, 4 for 5. And then on KO, you get to play a Pacifista from your hand. It can be decent, but you got to have the Pacifista in hand, and Pacifistas really don't do anything. It's more of an early format card, once again. Way too weak to compete these days. Then we got Perona, used to arrange cards on top of your deck for Flamingo. I guess some other blue decks maybe used it. Gonna go away. Boa Hancock, this lovely beauty right here, full art. Again, this card has been really power crept nowadays, even like if you would use it in a Boa deck with all the Kuja searchers and stuff, like it's gonna be like related with that theme of cards. Is not that good. It's kind of a blend between blocker and offense because you put a Dawn, if you attack or block, you get to draw, but you gotta burn a Dawn. It's 4 for 5, and then when you put another Dawn, it's like it's 5 for 5. It's just, it was good in the beginning where we didn't have ways to just plus so easily, but then you can just, nowadays, you just summon a Weevil or summon something else that gives you draw. She's just not that good. She hasn't been that good since, I want to say, Memorial Collection. Yeah. So power crept. Missile Sunday, just to be used with Blue Crocodile, never was really that good. It just conflicts with what the deck wants to do, in my opinion. Like you want to get events for Das Bones to become stronger. This is going to give them to you back. I mean, it's just, it gives you a +1 in a way, but I wish it was just a Baroque Works character as opposed to just an event. It would have been a hell of a lot better. But gonna go away. 2K, nothing else. Overheat, not really that good. I mean, it got reprinted. Got these events, got some purple stuff. Okay, so Kaido. So this is like the Judgment Dragon of One Piece. Play this down, destroy everything else. Now that Kaido has kind of seen a comeback with all the broken stuff he got in OP14, this card sees play in that deck, of course. And it even, like, the new purple Kaido cards, they just prevent themselves from getting killed. So you play this down, you don't even get the negative. So making this guy pretty broken. But it's also going to go away. One of the better cards from here. And what else do we got? I mean, not much. So this is kind of weird. This was like the only two... All the other like 2/2 blockers are 2 for 2,000, 2/2. And this ugly hag was 2 for 3 for some reason, and she still had 1,000 in hand. But anyway, just some silly trivia. And I don't think there's that much else from here. I mean, 2K for Animal Kingdom Pirates. Got Thunder Bakwa. No, that's the other one from the starter deck people use. The Secret Rares is just this Shanks. Very weak at this point. I mean, when the other OP9 Rush Shanks has basically like 2,000 attack more, or let's say 1,000 attack more if we're going to pretend. Yeah, this guy's like a 9, that guy's 10. But much more broken effect. So this card is not as good as it was in the beginning. And then Yamato. Again, this card, besides some niche uses in like Land of Wano decks, it doesn't do much because, you know, the double attack and banish, your opponent can easily block it. If it goes through, then it's beyond broken, but your opponent can just sort of control what you're going to do. Anyway, and it just ended up not being that great as a secret rare. And that's Romance Dawn. Took a lot longer than I should have taken, but anyway. So we lose a bunch of cards. I think quite a few more cards than I thought we initially would have. But still, not too much stuff. So let me get into Paramount War now. And I'm doing this in like separate tabs on my website so that we don't have to wait for the cards to load because it takes a few seconds. I don't want to waste time. Okay, so Paramount War. I think this set is a bit stronger and we lose more cards here than from Romance Dawn, but I guess I could be proven wrong. The leaders we lose, we got Whitebeard, Edward Newgate, Menace in the first formats, basically the first 4 sets. He was like the strongest leader in a way. And he kind of is not the same anymore. Just being 6 with 6 life and no effect, the only effect being a drawback for you, isn't going to cut it anymore. You got other 6K leaders with broken effects, and just having fewer life doesn't really matter when you can control the game. So, pretty power crept, I'm afraid. Even though a lot of the red Whitebeard stuff, it's still cool. Unfortunately, we need like another good Whitebeard leader. Anyway, what other leaders we got in here? Let me just check. We got Kinemon, which I know Monkey Fight TCG likes, but he's like a foreign leader to me. I guess you just do stuff to summon characters. I think if you were going to use like a Wano leader right now, I don't think it would be this guy, but maybe I'm wrong. Got the blue-green Sanji. It didn't really do anything. It's just way too weak. Emporio Ivankov, been steadily getting support, but again, to just put yourself into 0 cards just to draw 2, it's not a great idea. I mean, it's really difficult to do anyway, so why do something like this when you can just have Aokiji now that lets you draw a bunch of cards for no reason? So yeah, not that great. And then Magellan, purple leader, steadily getting some new stuff for his purple theme of cards, but doesn't really do that much. Just basically is just gonna get 1,000 just during this turn. So not the greatest leader in the world. This guy, did anyone even use this guy? I mean, I'm not gonna even bother reading him, but he can't be that good. It's just, you see the Dawn -4, I'm sure he just does costly stuff. Whatever. Smoker. So it was kind of a decent black leader for a while. He got the starter deck with new cards working specifically for him. But the whole idea of just minusing so much to pop stuff with black characters is not the same as it was in the beginning. Just burn so many resources to get KOs. So he's not, I mean, I do see some people still using him when I play The Sims sometimes. And he can't be that bad. But there's definitely other better black leaders at this point. And navy leaders. But he's something. He's one of the better leaders going away from here, I'd say. And then the last leader is nothing, actually. I covered all of them. Okay, so when it comes to regular cards, you got this cool full art Whitebeard. It was my favorite for quite some time. Just looks so cool and badass. Pimpin' card. And also a very strong card. You get the most out of it in the Newgate deck with the Whitebeard leader here. But even if you don't use it in that, the two effects he has are still pretty solid. On play, your leader gets 2000 until the start of your next turn. So you basically get a 2000 buff for attack and 2000 buff for defense on your opponent's turn. And then if you put 2 Dons in him, when you attack, you can destroy the little blockers. So your opponent doesn't get to utilize them. And 9 for 10,000 is solid. So, you can't go wrong with this card. It does see play in a lot of decks still, I want to say. So, one of the more important cards going away. Then we got Curly the Dawn, searcher for specifically cost red 1 characters. Doesn't see much play as she saw in the beginning, and then even got banned. But something that's going to go away, technically. And then what do we got? We got 2K Jozu for Whitebeard going away. Got this Ace. You also get the manga. Pretty hot, no pun intended. But this card, it's not that good in my opinion. I never really rated it too much. You basically get Rush, and then you get to decrease 2 of your opponent's characters if they have 2 characters down. So it's alright, but it's not as bad as I'm making it out to be, but I never really rated this card, to be honest, that much. It never really made me, damn, I gotta use this in my red decks. Because you can play it down and it doesn't really contribute much. If the decreasing effect may not matter. And then if you're just gonna get the Rush, then it's 7 for 7, which is a pretty big cost. If it had like more attack or was 6 for 7, then yeah, it would have been much better. But it did end up seeing a lot of play in red decks anyway. Like Whitebeard decks. Going away now. Then we got Makino, another 2K, and you could just use this to buff a cost 1 character, kind of a Zoro card, a chopper card in a way. Do the rush shit. Gonna go away. Mask Deuce, 2K. Marco. I never really rated this card too much because again, it's that in between of blocker, but then you can attack, so then it's 4 for 5. You got the on KO for Whitebeard, you're gonna revive. The other Marco is better in my opinion in OP3. But anyway, going away. Got the Whitebeard Event Searcher. Oh damn, actually I think I forgot, yeah, there was the Searcher in OP1 as well for the Straw Hats. It's gonna go away. Damn, I forgot to talk about it. But yeah, it's from that set, I'm pretty sure. Anyway. This card just used with Whitebeard so that you don't lose life. This is banned, so it doesn't matter. 2K Carrot, really like this card, even though it just used as a 2K really in the minks. You got some of the film stuff. So this Nami is very important in the green film deck because she's a +1 searcher, and then if your opponent doesn't kill her, you're going to keep getting cards out of her. So a very strong card. Been pretty expensive for quite some time too for just a super rare. So gonna go away. Monkey D. Luffy as well, the 7/7 blocker with a free summon on the green film deck, Uda deck. Wanda doesn't really see play, but she was technically one of the cards that can give you like the double summon with her effect. Yamato, rest on summon, but not that great, I want to say. You just get that. The stats are decent, but better cards these days. What else do we got? This guy, just Bat Searcher for the 7 Warlords of the Sea. Doesn't really see play. Bucky, Searcher for Impel Down. I guess the... damn, what the fuck was your name? Emporia Vankov deck. 2K. This, it doesn't really do anything. Just get rid of your own cards. Gum Gum Rain. So yeah, these 0 cost events that, you know, you do the discard from the hand and you get the block, basically countering without paying costs. You know, they do see play in some decks. It's just a way for you to fix up your hand, just get some defense when you got stuff you don't need, and then you protect yourself using cards at least. So gonna go away. Not as relevant as it was in the beginning, all these events, but they are something. 2K Sadi for Impel Down. Shiki, 2K Film, purple. Has a trigger too. Magellan. So, God. I guess this card would only see play in like purple Magellan decks, but maybe I'm wrong. It's one of those cards that makes your opponent lose Dawns, they lose mana, and you lose as well, in a way. I think it does have to, like... Yeah, it needs to die, though, during your opponent's turn to get the effect, so it's like an on-KO. Got the Impel Down dudes. They do some stuff like when they get killed. Floaters. Gonna go away. Sakazuki, this card isn't very good. I think even in the beginning, it's just not that good because, you know, there's other cards that are going to give you the KO on play. This card requires you to discard as well, so it's kind of a hefty cost. A much better card is this guy, Kuzan, broken from the beginning and still very broken now in my opinion. Just on summon, draw a card. I really like simple cards that are effective like this, and then if he remains alive, he's one of their best methods to do the combo shit with black cards. Decrease your opponent costs and then kill them. Minus cost 4 every time he attacks. Pretty busted. So very important card going away in my opinion for the black color. Tsuru, 2K, and she could give that -2 cost. Again for the black combos. Borsalino as well. Not as relevant as it was in the beginning. I remember at some point this card was like 17 euros a piece, just the regular version. Because you are a 4 for 6 blocker. You got like 10 cost, 10k in hand, so you're not going to be dead, and you can't be killed by effects. So it was pretty powerful. 2k Garp. Ice Age got banned, and if it was around, it would have been very broken. Better believe it. And what is it? Meteor Volcano. No, this isn't the one that got banned. It's in the starter deck. Uda, bad secret rare. Just very unfortunate. Just needed better stats, or just why do I gotta like go minus Dawn 2 to get this very average effect of 1,000 on characters and leader? I mean, you need a bunch of characters for this to matter. Your opponent can play around it, ignoring the characters. You just need it much more, or just better stats. Anyway, Kuzan, not as bad as Uda, but again, not one of the greatest secret rares. Some decks still use him, I guess, today, but he's just a 10 for 10, gonna give you a pop 5 basically on his own. And then if you use other black cards to destroy stuff, you get an easier time next turn. So yeah, not so bad, but not the greatest secret rare either. So yeah, this is Paramount War. Basically the Whitebeard deck is going away, Impel Down stuff, taking a hit. Other archetypes like Emporia Ivankov, maybe they don't matter too much. Film Green, we do lose a bunch of stuff from here, mainly the Nami and the Luffy. It can be kind of relevant. This guy too is a 2K, so maybe it matters. This guy, I mean, too slow. I guess he would maybe use him in the Wano decks. Yeah, so I think we lose more relevant stuff from here than Romance Dawn. But again, a lot of cards are power crept at the end of the day. Okay. Pillars of Strength. All right. So the third set. We get Ace as a leader, which his effect is very average at this point. I guess you can discard stuff, events on your turn to just buff your attack and go the aggro route, but it essentially is like the same effect during your opponent's turn when you just discard something to protect yourself. I mean, yeah, it was kind of cool in the beginning. I used them a lot. I do think it was a solid leader during its time, but nowadays, I mean, red blue Ace is just a million times more broken. Okay, we got Izzo, Searcher for Whitebeard, going away. This does see play in other Whitebeard decks that are not the original Whitebeard. Buggy. So again, reprinted card from PRB2, but if it doesn't count for sticking around, it's going to go away. 1 for 3,000, so great stats while being a Searcher, and can't be killed by slash attribute cards. So lots of good shit for just a Searcher. Gonna get you red events. Got Marco. This is the better Marco in my opinion from these early sets. Was really, really strong. Basically gonna give you pop, and he can't die as long as you have events in hand. Your opponent just runs him over. They're just wasting their attacks. So he's pretty good. Nowadays, maybe not as good, but still solid, I want to say. You know, he's 10 in hand, 5 for 6, good stats still. This guy gonna give you a dawn every turn to your leader characters, whatever. Flame Emperor, just used with Ace, but pretty strong. Man, I guess technically, yeah, you could use this with red blue Ace right now. I almost forgot about that, but yeah, technically we could do this. You destroy an 8 power or less, and then double attack and 3,000 power. I mean, there's a lot of competition with stuff, but maybe it's not so bad, actually. Maybe. Could use it, though. But yeah, it's going to go away now, so better use it soon if you want to try it out. Crossfire. This card was never that good, but I guess it can be main and counter. I did use it. You get this sort of counter, but I think Fiery Doll is better. You get 4,000, and then the trigger is better as well. Fire Fist. It can give you that double destruction. You got to discard an event, though. Trigger could have been handy, too. These are just Ace cards. This is a stage. It's just a little boat. Gonna go away. Kudo. Does this guy really see play? Don't think so. Arlong. He's like a much weaker Moria, you could say. You just pay the cost, you get some stuff, but it's gotta be from the hand. We got a lot of like Fishman cards now for yellow and green, so you could do a bunch of stuff with him maybe if you really just try and figure things out. But again, these early leaders, most of them are not that strong anymore. Competition is so fierce. Gin, this card could have been annoying because it could rest 2 stuff, 2 blockers just like that. The stats were decent. But your leader has to be East Blue. This dude, way too weak right now, but I guess you could get double KO, and then he could get double attack too. Way too specific. Gotta be rested characters, but it was double destruction. Nami Searcher. So this is it gets you East Blue stuff other than Nami, and she's also a trigger, so she's not bad. Depending on how you build your like green decks, if you're gonna run a bunch of East Blue stuff, she was gonna be your girl. Got the other green Nami Searcher too for Straw Hats, but yeah, just a good card, Searcher. Hachan, Trigger, 2K. His bitch, she got banned. Thank God for that. Rush Usopp with bad stuff. Mill, anyway. You got all of these cards that are basically just, yeah, mill the stuff from your deck that were going to be used with Nami. I guess there's the other blue Nami right now. What the hell? But anyway, so Sanji's Pilaf. So this was like the... I forgot the Duel Masters card's name, but draw 2, good trigger. Maybe if you could like loop it on your life with, I don't know, blue, yellow Nami. Not likely, but I mean, it's a good card if you get it off the triggers, draw 2. 3000 Worlds. So there's a card that I really liked, but is not as good as it was in the beginning, especially with all the cards that have removal immunities now, or ways to protect themselves. So you get to bottom deck a 5 cost or less. It costs 4, so it's fair enough, and it also has a trigger. So it's not as great as Red Rock, all the potential value you can get from that, considering you can remove anything for just a 6. But for the mid-range characters, this was your card basically, okay? It was going to be pretty solid. I still have it in my Boa decks, but you know, if you're not going to get a benefit like that, like for Boa, you're going to draw if you remove with this, then it's not that great. I mean, it still is. It's just, it's because so many cards can protect themselves now. Or your opponent, by the time they drop them down, it might not be relevant. So, yeah, it's one of the better cards from this set in my opinion, though. 3000 Worlds. Iceberg. Didn't see that much play. Right? Does have some support cards, though. Guess gonna rotate from here. Not really familiar with this the Galley Law deck. Got a few more purple Impel Down cards here. Yeah, if you were gonna do like Impel Down purple, they're really taking a hit unless the newer cards, they just see more play than these older cards. But I mean, they got some decent stuff. Like this guy, for example, is like a draw 1 on KO, so he's not that bad. This guy is like banished, so it's not so great, but when he dies, you get a free Dawn. So maybe, I don't know, I'm not like the Impel Down purple dude that never used the deck, but I think you would use some of these cards still, right? Gum Gatling, the 0 event for 3000 and discard, going away. Black Rob Lucci, the original one. At this point, the CP0 is, I guess, stronger, but this is just a different type of leader. It's going to give you that swing again if you discard 2, but man, just Green Zoro does this so much more efficiently that this card is kind of obsolete in many ways. Lin Lin. This leader's not good, but the other yellow stuff from here is going to be pretty good. So Isho, going to give the double discard, but very specific. Got to really time this right to get the effect off. 2K Virgo, got Kaku. Gonna give you that pop again. 2K Khalifa, Fine Ho, and anything else? I mean, brand new, reprinted. Again, this is like your CP or Navy Black Searcher. Gonna run him. Rush Lucci for the CP9 deck. CP actually. The black 3000 zero cost event, a 6 king pistol. And as lobby, this card got banned, it was way too broken. Okay, the yellow Big Mom stuff. So these are relevant cards that go away, I think. So Karakuri, not the same leader as he was in the beginning, but if you want to do like pure yellow Big Mom and not worry about fancy combo shit with, you know, the purple yellow pudding, then this was your dude. He basically becomes 7,000. It's not so bad. Attacking every turn. So he's gonna go away. And then we got Vinsmoke family Sanji, but kind of like a Big Mom card in a way. Gonna go away. Cracker, not as good as he was, but I guess he is like a trigger Big Mom character. You can just summon for free. Same with Smoothie. And same with Berospero. Even this guy, he doesn't see that much play like Big Mom decks. But he's still one of the better cards technically. 3 for 5, trigger, and then Searcher on KO. Pretty good. Was really, really broken in the earlier formats. And then the Pudding Searcher. Got this cutie here. Nice full art. Gonna go away. It does matter. Because I run this card in like my Pudding deck. I think there's like another Pudding Searcher maybe. But I think she only works for like Sanji events and some shit like that. I don't know. But this is like the searcher you would use. She's gonna go away. This Big Mom didn't see too many prints, even though he was such a relevant card. Yeah, Big Mom is taking a big hit like the Pudding deck. A lot of these cards are basically staples. So this boss character is still extremely good. 10 for 12,000. Gain a life, your opponent loses a life. That's all you get, but it's broken as hell stuff. Gonna go away. So yeah, Big Mom losing a lot of shit. Shirahoshi, this saw some play in the beginning, but then people eventually stopped. It was just a trick that gave you basically a draw 1. Not the greatest thing in the world, especially because you get 0 attack. But I guess what you would do, we could do, if you get this out, you know, you get your little draw, and then you can do the Karakuri secret rare from here, and then put this bitch back on top of your life, and then you get that sort of combo. You get to still gain the trigger, draw stuff, get her down, repeat the process. So something. Anyway. Got some stuff here that don't think it matters. Got this blue secret rare Usopp, Soge King. Pretty weak. Gonna go away. Karakuri here, much more relevant because of the stuff you can do with purple pudding, but I never rated this card because if you're not gonna do combo shit with it, if you're just gonna use it for removal, what you remove from your opponent goes into life. So unless you got like perfect control over the game, then you don't gain the max value because you remove something, but you give your opponent a free life. That's pretty important. So I never rated it. It's not like it had amazing stats for the cost too. It's just 8 for 8. The only effect you get. The range is pretty good, being able to get rid of an 8. Even higher than Mihawk. But yeah, I was never the biggest fan of it. It was extremely expensive though. I remember when it didn't have reprints in the earlier formats. It was like 80 euros and shit or something. Or not 80, maybe 70, 60 euros. It was pretty expensive card, I think. Anyway, going away now. This other stuff here is reprint. So, Pillars of Strength. I think I would say this is maybe more important than... not sure if I want to put it as more important than Paramount War. Maybe neck and neck. I don't know. But these are the most important cards we lose. And then we got Kingdoms of Intrigue, the last set, main set. The stuff we're going to lose from here. This set has the worst set of leaders, I'd say, with a couple exceptions, but this Vivi really wanted to make this leader work, but she wasn't that good. The new Vivi's much better. They essentially realized what the fuck they messed up and fixed her. It's kind of sad though. We get the new Vivi stuff now, and a lot of these like Alabaster cards are gonna go away. Like this guy is a 2K. You could have actually summoned him and used him as something to attack. He would get the buff and become 5. Chaka, yeah, this guy was solid, specifically exclusively used with Vivi, so gonna go away. And this is another 2K as well, the Duck Troops, whatever, Duck Squadron. Igaram the Searcher. So again, I don't remember completely the new Vivi leader effect, but I think you would use these cards in that deck still. Gonna go away. Got Chopper. So this card was used in like the Rush Zoro decks and Chopper decks. You get that additional summon from the hand. And this is a Chopper card too. So it just works out with all the Chopper theme. The Doctor Searcher, Dr. Kureha. Unfortunately, even though the artwork on this card is cool, it was not that good. There's Zoro as well. Just alright, didn't do much. Got Flamingo, so this is I'd say the best leader going away from this set. Get 2 Dawns at the end of your turn active, so you could use all of the green Flamingo events with strong effects for free. Pretty busted stuff. Isho. Some people tried to use as leader, but again, it was just more difficult stuff to gain the value out of him. Green-black, kind of a unique combination, even today. Gonna go away. We lose a bunch of the green Flamingo stuff, so yeah, it's just gonna be purple Flamingo all the way from now. You use Viola, Sugar. You lose, I mean, these guys are not really as relevant, but I guess this guy was a 5 or 6 blocker. Baby 5, definitely 2K counter you're losing. This dude, just used with Flamingo, but you just gave you a rest at the end of the day. You know, you got these events, Flapping Thread. This was a pretty good one, but I liked. Gonna go away. Okay, and then the best one of all of them, this dude. So the 10K Don Flamingo, this card has been like a stable green boss character since it came out, and even right now, because if you play this guy just on his own and then you don't follow it up with another one next turn, then he's okay, but not the best leader, the best boss character. Slows down your opponent, but doesn't really get rid of anything. But when you can loop this card over and over, even if you just do it 2 times in a row, it's so broken because you're preventing your opponent from doing shit turn after turn while you're building up these guys to go for a game. So to this day, he's like the best or one of the best green boss characters, like in the 9 and 10 cost range with his effect. Certain cards, they can play around it if they just, you know, unrest and do shit like that, and then you just can't target them. But it's so good because you stop 3 cards, including the leader, so you're always going to stop at least that. And since so many leaders have effects when they attack, you know, you basically negate their effect too in a way. So just extremely good. I think it might be the best card going away from this set that still sees play today. We got Rebecca. I know a lot of people like this leader, and she definitely turned out to be better than Vivi. If you really master how to use her, she could have been pretty effective, just constantly getting cards, popping your opponent's shit, controlling the board. So yeah. Queen technically was a good leader in the beginning, but everybody stopped giving a damn about him. It's just, yeah, who gives a fuck about this guy? And then you gotta just, if you have a total of 4 less, you get to draw 1. You gotta do specific shit to get the draw, so yeah, whatever. Not that great. 2k Apis, and then we got this Kaido. I never really liked this card. Even the artworks here, they're just not so cool. Just the special rare looks decent enough, but you know, it's not like we got dozens of different boss characters for the high levels. 10 cost, 9 cards for every color, not just blue. So you were kind of forced to use him. It gives you that double removal, but depending on the cards your opponent has, you might not get the value, the full value, or even any value really. And they go into the hand, which I never really liked. I'd rather you just get rid of one thing and it goes bottom deck as opposed to 2. Like, make me remove a 9 cost or under, but then it gets bottom decked. I would have preferred that 100%. But if you were going to use this dude in like Boa, at least you draw a card if you remove with the effect. And the stats were perfect. So he wasn't useless. I mean, it is a 10 for 12,000. So sometimes when you put the stuff in hand, it doesn't matter. Your opponent is just, it's just going to be as bad as if it were in the deck. So he was all right. It does see play, I think. Actually, no. Now that we got Whitebeard, he just completely outclasses that guy. This guy. But yeah, in the earlier formats, especially before we get Blue Whitebeard from OP13, there were reasons to run this card in your deck, maybe. But anyway, gonna go away. King, draw 1, simple card. Mihawk is better, but this guy just gave you 1,000 in hand too, so he wasn't gonna be dead. 2k. Animal Kingdom Searcher, but blue, like the blue Kaido shit just didn't work out. This card is essentially just going to rotate without seeing any meaningful play, I want to say. Anyway, got the Gum Gum Red Rock. Okay, so maybe it's either this card or Doflamingo that's the best card in this set. But yeah, this card, I mean, for all my Duel Master people, Terror Pit, same cost, basically same effect, just destroy any character, also has a trigger, same cost. I mean, very, very great card. The trade-off you get when you pay 6 to get rid of an opponent's 10 cost, 9 cost, even 8 cost, it's just a great plus. Again, many cards now have removal immunities, but it still just ended up being such a great card. I'm really gonna miss it. Blue definitely loses a lot of power with this going away, I want to say. And it sucks, I'm not gonna lie. That's my main shit. I think this is the type of card that we gotta have, like, if we're gonna keep getting like Nami shit, I want this card to be getting reprints so it sticks around. It is like a damn, like with some Pokemon cards. Like your Switch, your Pokeball, your Ultra Ball, they should be reprinted. They need to be in the format. I want to say Gum Gum Red Rock is such a card, but I don't know if Bandai is going to do it. I'd like it to stick around, but I don't know. Anyway, gonna go away. Got the Purple Crocodile Eater. So I was very harsh on this guy for the longest time. It's only just recently that I kind of figured out, okay, so this is how you make use of this dude. But it's still not that good. Essentially, just going to give you a free down every turn if you use him correctly with Miss Wednesday. And then maybe if you like do the other trigger shit with the cards, Baroque cards, you get the Dawn back. But still a pretty difficult leader to use. The competition is really fierce right now. There's a bunch of other purple, yellow leaders too. And he only has this effect, nothing else. Fragile leader, I mean, yeah, it could work. I guess you could still use him today. He does have some support, but wouldn't be so good. I want to say that Flamingo is just more consistent, more reliable, and it's just easier to use too. Same for his like character boss character counterpart. You just get 8 for 9,000, and the free life you get does come with a pretty hefty cost, -2 Dawn. When other cards can just give you this effect for free. I don't know why they made this guy so balanced. The little draw effect is just only gonna work, well, basically when you use him with this guy, and to just make it so that you gain the leader effect. So I was never really a fan of this card, but I guess if you were gonna use Crocodile, you would use him. I wouldn't max him out. I'd use maybe 1, that's it. I say this because that's what I did. I tried this deck out, and I just used 1 of this guy because you just get more value from shit like Yamato from this set, ironically, and other characters. Anyway. Okay, then we got 2K Water 7 Frankie going away. Nico Robin. Yes. So pretty hefty cost, but I guess you draw 1, she's a trigger, gonna give you a Dawn 2 if you summon her at the right time. So she's decent. Can be dead in hand, force the player down like Weevil or Aokiji, but you get some good stuff out of him. Few ways to plus in this Crocodile deck. So anyway, gonna go away, but I guess her leader is going away too, so it doesn't matter. Not that good, but had the trigger, the searcher. So for other like purple Crocodile shit, she's gonna be away. Trigger, blocker, not that good though. This guy, not that good. Not that good. Not that good. Definitely not that good for all the trouble you're gonna go through. They gave him like the cool full art. 2K, bad, average, bad. Okay. These cards, it might look irrelevant, but in the like the blue sub deck, these cards are pretty relevant in my opinion, because they turn into floaters. So, you know, you block 2 for 2 and then you draw 1. So it's pretty nice. Sky at 2K again for Dressrosa. Kyros, just used with Rebecca, but it was something, I guess. Then we got this guy, Sabo. So this was already a relevant card in these earlier formats once again, because it was just solid. It was a 5 for 6 blocker. Prevented destruction on your cards, which was relevant back then because that's what black did. They just give you destruction. And, you know, protection from red destruction 2 and other destruction effects. And then the draw 2, discard 2, it wasn't a plus because you evened out, but it was a way for you to regulate and fix up your hand. So you could get rid of stuff that you didn't need or were going to be useless to get some stuff that maybe could have been good. So that's why it was very expensive and pretty relevant back then. Right now, I don't think it's as good. It might only be decent in some decks, but it's a Dressrosa and Revolutionary Army card, so it could be relevant in those specific decks. Gonna go away. Even though it got reprinted in PRB2. Again, I'm not sure, guys. It's just these cards are supposed to go away, but then they did shit pretty confusingly with like the reprint sets. They changed their mind. I don't know what cards are going to remain, what cards are going to get reprinted again. We'll see. Bartolomeo, this was one of my favorites in these earlier formats, and even now, it's a 2K and a blocker, and just something you can get back with Rebecca from OP5. So I really like that. This dude only used in the Rebecca deck for the combo shit. Rebecca Searcher. Yeah, relevant in all the Dressrosa black decks. I mean, the discarding can hurt if you're not going to use her in the leader deck, where you do the combo shit, but she's still a searcher at the end of the day. Corrida Coliseum. I don't use this in Usopp, but most Usopp decks would use it, I guess. Get that rush on characters in a way. Alright, and then we got some good yellow stuff again. This guy, Capone Beji, not as relevant maybe as in the past, but in my opinion, is still just as good. Your opponent hits this at the wrong time. It could be the difference between them winning or losing that game. Pretty good, 2K. This bitch, unfortunately her use is only like Land of Wano, basically Yamato. That's it, the yellow Yamato leaders. And only one of them might be just alright, the green yellow one. But you get the 2K, you get the free like 1000 power. This Sanji, not the same card as it was in the beginning. Blocker and just 5 with a trigger. Some more like 2K is going away for Big Mom. Yeah, Big Mom is taking a lot of hits here. Then we got Yamato. So again, I was always a bit underwhelmed with the stats on this character because I just want better stats. If I'm going to be 9, I gotta be at least 10,000 for me. But she did have 2 effects at least. You know, the KO effect, it can be pretty good if you can get it off. And then the life effect to get a free life. So you time this card right, you get a lot of value. And yeah, the KO effect could be pretty weakened. If you're going to be low on life, your opponent is low on life, you're not really going to destroy anything. But for a good while, and even now maybe, you could say she's a decent boss character for yellow. Really like this full art too. Wonder who the artist is, but yeah, it's pretty good. Her expression is pretty good. Yeah, the tits are big, that's great, but the background is good. Her face expression I really like. Pretty nice. What else do we got? That's it actually. That's what we got. You got this Vivi that's just very beautiful. This one not so good, but this one I really like. Full art secret rare, but the effect was just way too specific and difficult to make use of. You gotta just play her down, and then the stuff you're gonna play next turn with rush, they're gonna, well, gain the rush really. So, bad card. This guy was a little bit better, but now I guess Mihawk would replace him and other similar cards. 8 for 8, it can give you a free cost 5, specific cost 5, unfortunately. I wish it was 5 or less, but could be green, any green, doesn't have to be flamingo. And then you could basically rest this dude, and your dudes were going to be 5 cost, were going to be immune by effects. So, wasn't bad, but wasn't the greatest card in the world. The stats, again, not the greatest in the world for what you're getting, maybe. You know, there was a lot of competition with the Eustace Captain Kidd that had the same stats and arguably maybe does better shit. This was a Flamingo card, though. I used it, it did see some play. Okay, and this was OP4. I think in terms of generic cards, you know, with Flamingo and the Red Rock, it might be the most important set. But I don't know. I mean, Aokiji is an important card from OPO2. A lot of the yellow stuff, I guess, for Big Mom matters, I'd say. Anyway, so now I'm going to get into the starter decks really quickly. Man, this video is taking way too long. But yeah, this is my website, guys. Feel free to just visit it to check out all these different cards. I got the scans for Pokemon too. I got a bunch of shit. I got my articles, my stuff that I write. Anyway, so for starter decks, we lose starter decks, all of them up to 10. So yeah, you guys see, it takes some time to load. My website is pretty overloaded with stuff. But for the Luffy deck, we lose this dude, I guess. Blocker, guard point. This is a very niche card in just some red decks, like the red Sanji leader would maybe use. 2K. Rush Luffy, I guess maybe some decks still use this dude, but the other new Luffy from Star Deck 21 is better. Jet Pistol, kind of like this card still, but not as relevant as it was in the beginning. This guy too, again, not as relevant. Definitely not. Blocker, Julie Bonnie. So this is pretty relevant, I want to say. If this doesn't, they don't make it stick around with like reprints or something, it's going to be a pretty big hit for all the engines that run it, like Julie Bonnie, Supernova stuff. Even non-Supernova and Bonnie Pirate stuff, they just green stuff runs this, so it's going to be relevant. This one, I guess maybe it's a bit relevant, but not really. I think this card is just slightly expensive because it doesn't really have prints. It's just this and like the dash pack or whatever reprint. Rest of the stuff here for green doesn't matter. It's just Julie Bonnie and I guess this blocker. Yeah, this one is just rest. It's like you could say the Solar Ray from Duel Masters, but not as relevant, I want to say. Oh, I love this artwork, but this guy just get power crept so quickly. It was just bad from the beginning, in my opinion, but whatever. Same for this dude. Why the fuck are they gonna give us such a shit on-block effect? It just made sure that this beautiful artwork crocodile cards, manga cards, just weren't gonna be good. 5 for 6 and blocker is good if you just had another good effect. Anyway, much better cards here are this Gecko Moria for the 7 Warlords. I'm gonna miss this card 100% in like 7 Warlords of the Sea decks that I use. I mean, at this point, the Boa decks, they've evolved into Kuja Pirate decks with all the good shit they got. But if you're gonna use 7 Warlords of the Sea engines and shit, this is your guy, gonna go away. Mihawk as well, a 2K, gonna go away. This, not as good as it was in the beginning, and then this... I mean, we have Vista, but I guess if you're gonna do like the Warlords, blue for 1 blocker, this was your guy. Never really that good, even though the manga arc is cool. Oh man, this one I'm definitely gonna miss. I hope it sticks around, but yeah, I like my trigger blocker cards, simple cards like this, and she's gonna go away probably. Oh man, that sucks so much. Very relevant card, for me at least. I know a lot of people don't care about these trigger blockers, but I really like them. So yeah, lots, 7 Warlords losing a lot of relevant shit. This one was decent, I guess. The trigger, mainly if you got it off as a trigger. This, again, niche use, but one of the better cards. This dude, man, I guess if this dude goes away, Purple Kaido, it's just gonna go down completely. All the new extra shit they released, it's not gonna matter. It's kind of sad. I guess now you're gonna have to use the King from OP8 or just figure something out. 2K, this is just not as good. I mean, the cost was hefty even in the earlier formats, but I mean, I guess you got something. Never really that good. This one, alright, gonna go away. Yeah, they're losing this as well, the Purple Kaido shit. This as well, I guess. These ones, not so good. Okay. Next up, we got the purple Shanks deck. So I think this might just be the most irrelevant one. I can't really think of any cards that matter. Leader is bad, unfortunately. I wanted to use him and I missed my chance. He became useless so quick. This is like your shittier Bond Clay. You do get a rest done at the end of the day, but she doesn't have 1,000 in hand. She's pretty power crept. If she would be printed today, I'm pretty sure they would give her like 1,000 in hand too, to be more balanced for the times. But because she doesn't have that, it didn't end up being good. You use Bond Clay and then you don't need this card. Everything else is pretty irrelevant, I want to say. Oh, I guess this guy, he's technically a film searcher in a 2K. Gonna go away now. You got this really bad Sakazuki leader. The rest of the starter deck, though, has relevant stuff. Great Eruption, this got banned, kind of rightfully so in a way. You just get a free cost 2 and then you draw a card back. You got a trigger 2 that's a Ghost Touch. Shockwave, don't think people use this now maybe, but whatever. 2K, this one was pretty relevant. You can also summon this and getting the -2 every turn. I think that's it though. Oh yeah, and Hina too. Cost 4 was 5. You could do stuff with her. This guy, don't really rate him, but I guess he matters if you're gonna do shit with Rebecca and do shit, whatever. So yeah, this one more relevant. Stuff has more relevant than the purple deck. Get the Big Mom deck. Doesn't really, I guess you could gain the rush maybe, but not really relevant card. The best card from here, in my opinion, or the best 2 cards are Brûlé, of course. I like my trigger blockers once again, just like Boa. You get the same for yellow. This is a 2K pudding, but the fact that the other searcher pudding couldn't search this, it means that it was never a good idea to run this card in a way. It's sad. Get the cute, pretty pudding that you can't run. But anyway, and then Lin Lin. So again, just like the other 10 costed Lin, these cards, they saw like no prints or reprints. And starter decks were a pain to get. And then you never had the chance to get them again. And then we just missed out on them. I got this bitch as a single, a couple of copies. But anyway, gonna go away. I still think it's a solid card today. And I do use it in most of my yellow decks. Either get a free life or your opponent has to lose a life. And then there's other stuff you can gain, of course, with this. It's not just the fact that you gain a life or your opponent loses a life. In yellow blue Nami, if your opponent chooses to lose a life, you're going to trigger Nami's effect and draw. If you get a life in a lot of yellow like trigger shit, there's a chance you're going to gain even more effects. It's pretty good. Stats are solid as well. Can't really go wrong with her. That's it. Oh, excuse me. Just talking too much. This black deck, it actually has some solid stuff. My favorite card here is, of course, going to be the Vivi blocker. I'm probably the only dude that uses this card, but really, really love her. Vivi, you know, from the iconic sort of desert scene here. It's got the outfit, blocker, trigger. Amazing. Can get it with Rebecca. There is a 2K as well, but it doesn't really have any archetype relevance. Just Windmill Village. Uta. People in the beginning didn't care about this card, and then eventually people realized, oh man, it's actually a good card. I think I'm one of the players that realized she was good, and like, for if you're gonna do black removal shit from the get-go, because I'm thinking to myself, it's just every turn, so your opponent has to burn and attack to kill her, and they can't even do it with a leader. So yeah, relevant card from the starter deck. This one, no, just unfortunate. This leader also is just not, it doesn't really have a bad effect. It's just way too basic, especially for all the competition these days. And then not much else. I mean, this one, I used them a lot just because it's a vanilla and I could just get them back with Rebecca and shit. But probably not relevant. Laboon, this is relevant, I guess, if you're going to do the Brook stuff, where you want a bunch of Laboon cards. This could have been one of the cards you'd used. I mean, there's not way too many Laboon cards. And then that's it. This one, I saw some people use this as an extreme way to just get a removal. But that's it. And then Shirahoshi too as well. This is kind of an interesting card, but again, a very specific tech. She's a blocker for 4, but she is going to give you a -4/2 on summon, so you can do some shit for combos in black. So yeah, I think Yellow, this ST7, we lose 2 cards. We lose a bunch of cards from this black Luffy deck. I think the worst starter deck 100%. If it's not going to be this purple one, it's going to be this one. So sad, man. So sad. I like the artwork here on this Yamato, but she ended up being such a... What they should have done is, number one, make it so that you don't got to put it on to gain her effect. And then make it so that at 3 life you gain the effect. Or if it's going to work at 2 life, make it so that you gain the buff during your turn too. They just needed to do a bunch of stuff to just make her stronger. She's just way too balanced to bad. So that's why she ended up being shit. I used her in the beginning over Karakuri, but hindsight being 2020, I think it was a bad idea. I did enjoy using her though. And yeah, everything else in here is basically bad. I'm not even kidding. I can't think of any card that's good besides this Yamato that's just a 2K. That's it. Land of Wano. All of these cards, they just have bad effects. Okay. This guy's like your super rare here. It has bad stats. Needs a Dawn to get the double attack. And then the on KO, you just got to discard 2 cards to gain a life. Other cards do it for free now. It's Ace as well. Again, it's a 6 for 7, and then you just get a shit effect that just is gonna trash your life. It doesn't even, you don't even get it in hand, and you can gain like the triggers and shit. It's just terrible. Just terrible cards. This they were printed for some reason a bunch of times, but it was just a bad event again. This one too. You don't really gain much. Really unfortunate. I like this random ulti here, but just because she's a fine chick. Random yellow animal kingdom. But yeah, bad. This starter deck was so bad. It's just sad. It really is sad. And then the last one, this one here, ST10. I believe this rotates out too. And let me just check. Yeah, it says, oh no, wait. It says 2, so it actually doesn't rotate. So yeah, I think this doesn't rotate. I think that I'm making a mistake. So we're just gonna finish the video right here. Does it actually rotate? It says 2 the card, so I don't think it rotates. Yeah, the AI telling me wrong information when I asked it. But yeah, guys, these are the cards that are gonna rotate. We don't really lose that much. A lot of the best stuff used in One Piece decks right now is just the newer cards that come out. Some archetypes, some themes are going to suffer quite a bit, like the Yellow Big Mom. It suffers quite a bit. Pudding decks are going to lose quite a few cards. 7 Warlords of the Sea, I believe they lose a lot of relevant stuff too. Okay. If I go back into the booster sets, again, yeah, just a lot of relevant Big Mom stuff, Impel Down stuff for purple, some CP stuff, Navy stuff, Green Flamingo stuff, Crocodile stuff, some Rebecca stuff, not too much I guess. Whitebeard, you're gonna lose a bunch of shit like Red Whitebeard. They just lose way too much shit. But yeah, this is the rotation video, guys. Way too long, but I want to do things properly. This is my website. If you want to check the scans yourself, check a bunch of shit. Got my storefront page here too. I got some shit. Most of the stuff sold out, but I do have some stuff. Got my articles. Got my new shit. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel. Check out my Whimsy G Players channel, which is the channel that I put the One Piece match videos. I decided to put the rotation video on the main channel since it's a long video. I guess if you come from the Whimsy G channel, you already know about this shit. But yeah, subscribe to my channels, leave a like, share the video with your friends, And I'll see you guys next time. What a